Hello and welcome to the Media Corp's online newsroom. Today we are joined by two very special guests, two game changers, Northern game changers at that. We've got Adam and we've got Lauren. So thank you so much for being here in our press conference today. We're also joined by four mini reporters live. We've got Amor, we've got Nikita, we've got Julie, and we've got Freya.
My first question for you is, how did you decide what you wanted to be?
So I always wanted to be a dancer. I absolutely loved dancing as a kid, and I got to about 16 and decided that actually I probably wasn't that good. So I had to kind of think on my feet as to what I wanted to do. I always knew I liked helping people, so that kind of inform my decisions to go to university and study law, and then I think it's kind of spiraled from there really. So it just was thinking about what it is that I like to do, what gets me out of bed in the morning, and then kind of working on that, and that's how I ended up working in the charity sector.
Brilliant. Do you want to let them know actually, Lauren, like a bit more about what it is that you do and how that you came about being a game changer because of it?
Yeah, of course. So I used to run Invisible Manchester, which is a non-profit, and we would train people who've experienced homelessness to become tour guides of the city centre. So, like walking tours. And it was all about kind of empowering people, giving people a voice who'd never had a voice before, and very much working in the homelessness sector to try and help people who don't have a home to gain future employment. So it's really about caring for people, supporting people, and helping people who've never had anybody help them before.
Hi guys, I'm Adam. I run a youth charity, if you don't know already, a youth work charity in Gorton in Manchester called Hideout Youth Zone. I also wanted to be a dancer. No, and I didn't, I'm joking. But like Lauren, I wanted to help people, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do until I started doing it. So I didn't really have a plan. I'll be completely honest, when I was 12, 13, 14, I didn't really have much direction. So I wasn't great at school, didn't really like school, didn't really have a lot of positive people around me when I was a young person. So I didn't have a plan. I didn't really know. I just knew that I liked helping people. And then when I was about 16, I was working, I was attending a youth project, a local youth project. So we used to have a couple of youth workers that walked around the streets. So we didn't go to a youth club, but there was a couple of youth workers who used to just come out on the estate where I was growing up. And they used to engage us in positive activities, and they were just always there and looking out for us and looking after us and wanting us to do positive things and telling us how great we were and telling us we could do positive things. And there was no one really else around me that was telling me that or wanting me to do good things. So I started getting more interested in what they did, and they gave me an opportunity to volunteer as a young person on that project. So I was running like football sessions and basketball sessions in the local park in Longsight, in a park called Crowcroft Park. And then from there, I just started doing volunteering and then fell into youth work. They put me on a training course. And then after about 6 months to a year, they offered me some part-time work. So I was paid, started off about 6 hours a week. And then I fell in love with youth work, and that's what I've been doing ever since I was 16. So yeah, I was able to help people, and I found what I loved doing without looking for it. It just happened to me.
Oh, that's fantastic. I think it's always great to be able to show so many different routes to where you get to as an adult. And some of you have got your plans, your futures marked out already, but it's also absolutely fine not to be like that. So, and I can vouch for Hideout is absolutely brilliant, having been there quite a few times myself. So great to have you here, Adam. Back to you, Julie.
If you had a message or a piece of advice for everyone, what would it be?
I think for me, it would be believe in yourself. Find something that you enjoy and that you're good at, and you know deep down in your heart that you're good at it, and don't let anybody else tell you that you're not or you can't do something. Because I think once you find that self-belief and that confidence in who you are and what you want to do, you'll find that it'll attract other people that believe in you. There'll always be so many people out there and around you that'll tell you you can't do something or tell you you're not good at something. There'll always be negative people, but first and foremost, you have to believe in yourself first. If you believe in yourself, you will attract that positive energy, and you will find that you're surrounded by friends and family and people you don't even know, strangers, who want to be around you because they believe in you, because you believe in yourself. So I think that's probably the starting point of any advice I'd give anybody. There's so much more to it than that, but that'd be my starting point. Believe in yourself, because every single one of you can be and do whatever you want.
I think mine would be to find something that you enjoy doing every single day. So whether that's with work or with you know, an activity that you like doing, and doing it with people that you really enjoy being around, because I think it all kind of ties in with doing and being whoever you want to be. It's just finding happiness in the small things is something that I wish I'd have told my younger self, because I think it's you know, whether it be going to a dance class or going and like, you know, playing out with your mates or playing on a computer game, whatever it may be, if you find the joy in every single day, then it will help you with your career or help you kind of go further in life and just, yeah, just have fun.
My first question is, who was the best person you've ever helped and why?
Yeah, that's such a good question. I think for me, somebody comes to mind who I worked with at Invisible Cities, and he came to us and he didn't really speak much. He was super shy. He wouldn't really get involved in any of the activities, kind of sat in the corner. And we started working with him. He started coming every week, and slowly, it was a very slow process. He started to get more involved. He started to speak up a little bit, and would, you know, he'd start to ask people if they wanted a cup of tea. And now he like leads presentations around Manchester. He stands up in front of huge groups of people, and he public speaks, which is crazy to me when I think about the person that came to us. So I think for me, it was just seeing that progression with him, and how low his confidence was before, and then, you know, coming towards and how much he grew and into the person that he knew he could be. It was just all kind of trapped on the inside. So yeah, he would be the person that I think comes to mind, just because of the growth of him.
And you, Adam, I bet there's lots of young people that you could probably mention.
Yeah, there's quite a few. I suppose there's a couple that jump out to me at the moment because they now work here at Hideout. So there's quite a lot of young people that I would have supported when they were your age. So when I first started doing youth work for the first few years, I was working with people that were around your age now, and then they've gone full circle now where 10, 15 years later, they now work at Hideout Youth Only, work here. So I've seen them grow into young, positive adults who, like I said earlier, now they believe in themselves. But now by helping those one or two people, if they go on to help one or two other young people, hopefully those young people will grow up and give back to the community as well. So yeah, if you can find just one or two young people you help, and that's all you help in your next 5 years of life, you're probably then in turn helping another 10, 20 people without even realizing it. So there's so many people, but do try and help. You won't be able to help everybody, but if you can and you're in a position to help somebody or they ask you for help, do whatever you can to help them, because it's like going to the bank and putting money in the bank and making a savings deposit. You never know when you might need to draw that back out in many years' time. When you're helping people, people will help you, and in turn help all the other people around you. So if you can, try and help as many people as possible.
Fantastic analogy there as well. And yeah, it's all about that ripple effect, isn't it? That we can have positive effect in our communities. You've got a follow-up question to that, haven't you, Freya?
Yeah. How many people have you helped?
Ooh, can you put a figure on it? Adam?
Is that back to me? I honestly don't know. I've worked with that many young people over the last 20 years and different community projects, and yeah, honestly, it's probably in the thousands. Just at Hideout alone here, we've got over 6,000 members now, and we've only been working here for 2 years. So, and I can't claim that I've directly worked with all of them, but probably over the last 20 years, it's probably thousands of people. But like I said, the most important thing that if you can only help one or two people, that's enough, because sometimes that's all it takes to really change someone's life, and they can then hopefully help another 3 or 4 people. So don't set out to try and work with thousands of people and help thousands of people. Just help the 1 or 2 people around you that might need it, because they can go on to help others as well.
Gosh, yeah, no, I feel exactly the same. So I'm also involved in quite a lot of other projects. So I work a lot with refugees and asylum seekers, and doing things with women across Greater Manchester as well. So I'm involved in quite a lot of different charities. So yeah, I would say it would probably be in the thousands as well, but completely just copying what Adam said. I can't take full credit. It's definitely a case of working with one or two people, really changing their lives, so and like setting them up and giving them the tools to be able to support other people. And also I just really like staying in contact with people. I think that's such a big thing. So then you can see them grow, and whether it just be through social media, and just following their journey. It's nice to see them then supporting people or becoming volunteers or starting working, at the Hideout Youth Zone, whatever it may be. It's a really good feeling when you've helped somebody and then you see them going into that position as well.
If you were a sweet, what sweet would you be and why?
It's one that people go away from the press conference and they're like, oh, I've changed my mind. Oh, I want to do this. Lauren?
Oh, sorry, go on. Sorry, Lauren.
Oh, you were so keen. I'll let you go first, Adam.
Yeah, it's like I've been asked this question before. It comes straight in my head. I'd probably say I was a Cadbury's chocolate eclair, because I act like I'm hard on the outside and tough, but to be honest, I'm dead soft in the middle. I'm dead soft on the inside. So people think I'm hard on the outside, but I'm not. I'm really, really soft in the middle. So that's probably what I would be. Have you all had chocolate eclairs before? Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, good.
Is that a good choice, Freya? What do you reckon to that?
Perfect.
All right. I don't actually like it as a sweet, but that's the best one I could think of, mate.
I instantly thought of a sweet that I like. So I love, you get them in the pick and mix and they're like peaches. They're kind of sugary. They're just my favorite sweet ever. So I'm going to say them because they're gluten-free and I am gluten-free. They are pink and I just love pink. And they're just kind of sweet. I like to think that I'm quite sweet and nice and sugary and like bring a bit of positive energy, and they're also quite light in the pick and mix, which is always a good shout because you have to weigh it and you have to pay by weight, so they're always a good filler. So I'm going to go for that just because it's a solid sweet. It's a solid choice. I like to think of a solid choice.
Yeah, that is a solid choice, as are you. Freya, go on, I'm going to put it back on you. What would you be?
I would probably say a chocolate eclair.
Oh, would you? Oh, there you go. Right, next up in our questions, we have Amal.
Hi. My first question is, what do you think is the most important part of your job?
I think the most important part of my job now is allowing young people, but also the team that work here at Hideout to do what they want to do. So allowing them their own decision-making processes. So without me telling them what to do. So I'm not a teacher. I'm not a head teacher or anything like that. So I don't tell people what they should or shouldn't be doing or tell them off when they get things wrong. I make sure that they can make mistakes. So the children, young people that come to Hideout can make mistakes if they want, but so can the staff and the volunteers that work here. As long as they're all being positive and they're all trying their best. When you make mistakes, sometimes that's how you learn. So I think the most important part of my job is making sure that everybody at Hideout feels comfortable making mistakes. And then we can all sit down together and we can say, why did we make this mistake? What did we get wrong? How can we do it better next time? And then we can all work on putting that plan together going forward, and then everybody will learn, and hopefully you won't make that same mistake again. So I think that's probably the most important thing for me. It's supporting others to do their job better rather than me telling them what to do or trying to control everything. So that's probably the best thing that I can do now in my job for people.
Great. And you, Lauren?
Yeah, so I actually just got a new role, and so I connect people from the voluntary and like the charitable sector with people in the council who are changing policies in Manchester. So I think my biggest kind of, I think at the minute it will be connecting people who are actually making changes in their community with people who can kind of change the rules in society, and that's like a really big thing for me because so many people make decisions in society who have no idea idea what's going on in the actual sector, and they don't work with those people who are affected by homelessness, or they don't work with those people directly. So the biggest thing for me is making sure that their voices are heard and kind of amplifying the stuff that they're doing, the good work that they're doing, so that the way we can move forward within Manchester in particular is by listening to people who actually affect.
Yeah, brilliant. And that sits really well with what we do at media clubs too, because obviously we want to make sure young people's voices are heard, as would you be doing as well at Hideout, Adam. It's important to get it firsthand, isn't it, from the people it's going to affect. So
I think it is, but also what I'd say is that doing it in this kind of way, doing it in a really creative, fun way, is the way to do it. Because if anybody wants to listen to what young people are saying, they can come on here now and watch this recording, or they can come and get interviewed by yourselves in a really fun and engaging way. And you can ask them questions, like Lauren said, all the people who make the decisions that sit in the town hall, or the rich businessmen and women that don't actually know what it's like to be a child going through what you're going through. But don't start, I wouldn't like encourage you to be just thinking you have to go to like children's forum meetings or go and sit in the town hall and have a formal meeting. That's not always the best way to do it. So doing it like this, doing these things and asking people questions and interviewing them is the best way to do it, and it's fun as well.
yeah, I hope you agree it's fun, guys. Yeah. Okay, Emma, your next question.
My next question is, what do you enjoy most about your job and why?
I enjoy speaking to people. I love people. I love seeing what incredible things people are doing in the city. I get to work with lots of different charities and organisations. So yeah, the best part about my job is just finding new things that are happening in the city. I'm just like, that's incredible. That's so creative. That's helping so many people, and they just pop up all the time. So I'm just so overwhelmed with how much good stuff is happening, and just getting to meet people and listen to what they do, and just speak to incredible people every day.
Yeah, I'm really, really lucky with my job, because I'm based in a youth centre. So, you know, through the day, sometimes my job can be really boring because I'm just going to meetings or having calls and stuff like that. But the best part of the job is if I've had a long day or it's been a stressful day or anything like that, I know at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock at night, I can go out my office here. I can just go out that door now, and there's young people in the music room doing band practice. There's girls getting their hair braided in the health and wellbeing room. There's lads downstairs playing basketball. I can go and play table tennis or get some nice food from the cafe. There's so much going on here every day that every day is fun. I feel like I'm still a child myself sometimes. I can go on the climbing wall or just go and speak to young people and find out how their day's been. And it's always inspiring. They always inspire me every day with telling me what they've been doing and what they've been learning and what they're excited about and stuff like that. So yeah, the best part of my job is just being able to speak to people like you guys and find out what you've been doing and what interests you.
Yeah, brilliant. And Amal, now here's another tricky one, I think, for you. So we have a tradition in the Media Club's newsroom that we always ask a would you rather question. So off you go, Amal.
Would you rather write down everything you say by hand, or only talk or speak in rhymes?
Did you catch that? So write everything down that you say, or only speak in rhymes?
Ooh, I'd quite like both, actually. I love writing. I think I'd have to go for rhymes because I talk so much. My hands would be aching if I had to write everything down that I said. So I'm going to say speaking in rhymes. I also quite like music and musicals. So I wouldn't really mind that, actually. I'd quite like my life to be a musical.
Great answer. Adam?
I'd probably go with the same, mainly because I'm not that great at writing. So it'd probably take me a lot longer to sit down and write everything I had to say than it does to just talk about it. I'd probably struggle with the rhyming element, but I'd give it a go. It should be fun. We could have a laugh doing it at the same time. So yeah, I'd probably rhyme rather than write.
Brill. What about you, Amal? What would you choose?
I'd speak in rhymes.
Speaking rhymes. I think we'd probably all choose that, wouldn't we? I'd quite like that too. Right, and last but not least, we have Nikita with your final questions.
Hello. So I'm gonna get right into the questions. How do you feel about being a game changer?
Robin, the ultimate game changer. How do you feel about it?
Honestly, I was so surprised to receive the award. It's amazing. It just feels very, I think Adam's probably the same. We do our jobs because we love doing what we do, and we just get stuck in, and you kind of go about your day to day, and you're doing good things, and to be recognised is absolutely incredible. And it's just been so nice. Oh, bye, Julie. It's been really it's been really nice to kind of have lots of people reach out to me and to understand the work that I'm doing now. And for me, that's been the best thing about it, is that so many people now, because of this, it's been like a platform. So people have reached out to me, and I've been able to engage more people in the charity work in Manchester. So yeah, firstly, it's been really nice to be recognised, and a bit of a shock, but really lovely. And secondly, for the work that I do, it's been great at amplifying it. And people from all over now will message me and say, oh, I saw that you won this, like I'd love to get involved in this, and it's just been great for all the organisations I'm involved in.
Yeah. And what about you, Adam? Did all of the youngsters congratulate you?
Yeah, I mean, that was, for me, that was the main thing. It was people within Hideout and the young people hearing or knowing that I'd been nominated at first, but then to be announced as a game changer it was really nice. I think I'm not somebody who takes praise easy. I kind of just like everybody. I like praising everybody else. I don't like people telling me I'm good at stuff. I don't know why. Don't ever be like that. If someone tells you you're good at something, take it. But yeah, I think it was more when I seen the list of other people, and people like Lauren, who are amazing and inspiring and do so much for so many people. I think it was that, looking at the list, that I was alongside all those other people, and how great I knew they already were. Some people I didn't know before, some people I did. To be in a list of people like that made me feel quite proud. But at the same time, I don't think it was just all about me. I can't take all the praise for that, because I think the only reason I've been recognised is because of the work that everybody else around me has done and supported me with over the last 20 years. So it's really nice, but it's for more people than just me, I think.
What inspired you, or who inspired you to be a game changer?
Who's your biggest inspiration?
Do you know what? I'm going to have to go back to who I mentioned earlier. When I talked about my 2 youth workers, when I was a young lad who started to engage me, I think there's one woman, it's a woman called Tanya Disanqua, and she was a youth worker that wasn't from Manchester. She was from Bath. She had bright red hair and she was a hippie. And she lived on a tugboat in Manchester city centre. She lived on the canal on a boat. She didn't have a telly. She was the weirdest person I'd ever met. She was bonkers. I'd never met anybody like her in my life. And I think that's why I loved her so much, because where I grew up, there was no one else like her. And there were so many people who were just the same. And if they tried to work with me or talk to me, I wasn't interested, because there were so many people like them already. And this woman, Tanya, she came onto our estate and wanted to do youth work on the streets every single day. And there was no other reason for her to be there other than she wanted to help us. And I think as I was getting older, I realised how much she did to actually help me and some of the other lads and girls that were living around that area at that time. So she carried on doing that street work in Manchester for about 7 or 8 years. Then she moved to a place called Hackney in London, which is a tough area as well. And she did similar work down there. And now she's like the most senior lecturer at a place called the King's College in London in youth work. So to know how many people, children and young people, she's inspired across the UK. And whenever you talk to youth workers, whether it's in Scotland, Wales, even in Europe, Sweden and places like that, everybody knows Tanya. And to say that she was my youth worker as a young lad, I'm very proud that she trained me and developed me, because I think people respect me now because I come under her as a youth worker. So I genuinely think she's one of the most inspiring people I've ever met, because she made me believe in me at a time where I didn't, and nobody else around me was telling me I could do anything good, and she did. So that's what started me on, not just as a youth worker, but just doing positive things in life, because I probably wasn't doing a lot of positive things at that time. So that's all you need. You need yourself. You need to believe in yourself, and you need one other person to believe in you, and there's no stopping you.
Fantastic. And she's still got her bright red hair.
She's still got bright red hair, yeah.
What about you, Lauren?
I think that was so nice to hear, Adam. I think I'm gonna say my mum, because my mum is genuinely like the nicest person in the entire world. She's just the most caring person ever. And I never really realised it because she's just my mum. But then as I grew up and started to realise that not everybody was as nice in the world, I was like, wow, I got really lucky. And from a young age, she always told me I could do whatever I wanted to do, and really, like, you know, supported me with absolutely everything, all my crazy ideas. I'm a super creative person, so I'd always be doing really random things, turning the living room into like the Little Mermaid's house, and like making, like, you know, just lots and lots of creative stuff. I was always messing up the house. And she was just that person. As Adam said, you need that one person to believe in it, and she always did. And she's a primary school head teacher, so she's just really good with like inspiring children and you know, helping them to become whoever they want to be. And even now I'll walk down the street, because I'm from a little village back home, and people will be like, oh, you Mrs. Rose Green's daughter. I loved her, she was my favorite teacher. And honestly, like, I get it all the time. It used to be really annoying when I was a teenager, but now I love it. I'm like, yes, I am Mrs. Rose Green's daughter. So yeah, I would say she was probably my biggest inspiration. And I think I mentioned at the beginning, I did a law degree and then didn't end up going into law. And that was a really difficult time for me, because it's a degree that people expect you to become a lawyer. And I decided I didn't want to do it. And my mum was so supportive, and she was like, that's fine. You know, you've learned lots of skills. So that would be something else that I'd say, is that if your life doesn't necessarily go the way you think it's going to go, that's okay. There's always another option. And, you know, here I am now, and I'm a game changer and doing so many good things that I probably wouldn't have done if would have gone down that route. So it's okay if things don't go to plan, and if you've got that one person that's backing you, it really helps.
Absolutely, and she must be super, super proud of you. Nikita, who would yours be? I feel like yours is quite a similar story to Lauren.
Yeah, probably my mum. She supports me, and I still do loads of clubs just to get more stuff to build, so I have more opportunities and more skills. And yeah, look at me now, I'm in a pantomime.
Yes, Nikita, fantastic. What about you two, Freya, Amal? I'm interested to know, who's your one person, your inspiration?
Well, mine's probably also my mum. I mean, she hasn't like really gotten a job for a few years, but like she still helps me and helps around the house. And like, I want to become an artist when I grow up, and every time she finds something to correct me in my art, and I'm getting better.
Brilliant, that she's such inspiration to you, and your art is absolutely fantastic, Amal. And Freya, what about you? Are we having a hat trick of mums?
It's a tough one with me because I have two.
You don't have to stick to the rules. You can have two.
Yeah, my dad's mum, she's always been there, and she had a tough time looking after my dad's dad. So that's one. And my other one is my mum, because during lockdown, my dad actually struggled to teach me, and she was just always there to help me. And if he got mad at me, she'd be there to calm him down.
Yeah, we can all, I think a lot of us can relate to lockdown teaching. So some strong female leaders around you all there. Fantastic. And I think you've got one more question, haven't you, Nikita? Oh, it's a good one.
Oh yes, get ready. So, what superpower would you have and why?
I would have the superpower to go throughout time and space. I don't know if you can still hear me because my internet's not working.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah.
I don't think
so I would like. Oh yeah. Oh, sorry, my internet's not great, but I'm just going to talk and hope that it works. But yeah, it would be to go through time and space, so that I could go and like click my fingers and be in Australia, my happy place, which I'm in now, but also so that I could go back in time and see things. I love my grandparents. I'd love to like be at their wedding and like see like, you know, things that were really important to them. Even if I was invisible, even if no one could see me, I'd just love to see the times that made people super happy. And then I'd love to be able to kind of just travel the world really quickly, like just be able to get there and not have to go on I think my flight was like 20 something hours long to get here. Yeah, so that would be my superpower, to be able to just zip around whatever I like.
Brilliant. What about you, Adam?
Mine was a similar one, but I wasn't as clever as Lauren with how I thought about it. So mine was more to fly at a supersonic speed so I could fly around the world rather than just clicking my fingers and being there. I should have thought of that one instead. But yeah, I think one thing I regret and one thing I'd encourage you to, if you can, if you get the opportunity, is to travel, go and see different places, even if it's just around England. Even I don't know where you all live, but I've not really been outside of Manchester that much. I've been to a few places, I've been on a few holidays, but I've not really seen much of the world. I've not seen much of Europe or Africa or America, anything like that. And I think if you did at a young age or when you were a young adult, if you were able to travel around, you'd find who you really are. Because I feel like sometimes your environment can shape who you are. And if you're in one place for too long on one environment, it doesn't open your mind. So I think if you do get the opportunity and you can travel around and meet different types of people from all around the world, even if you don't get the opportunity to do that, try and meet as many people as possible, because it will change your mindset and you'll find who you are as a person and be confident in who you are. I think for too long when I was your age, I just wanted to be what everybody else wanted to be. And I'm probably still the same as an adult a little bit because I didn't travel. So I'm waffling on, but my superpower would be to fly around the world very fast so I could meet different types of people and see different places and then come back to Manchester a different person, a bit more rounded and a bit more knowledgeable about things.
Another fantastic piece of advice and a great, I like the supersonic flying, as well as the click in the hands. Yeah, brilliant. Nikita, what would you have? What would be your superpower?
Well, that is actually very interesting. I would like to actually, like the same as you guys, I don't really know why, but I like to teleport different places because I really like going to different places. Like I went on holidays to loads of places, and I went to Spain last summer. I went to Romania. I went to Hungary. It's very cool going everywhere and learning about different cultures. So then, yeah, I'd really like to teleport.
Brilliant. And you get to see your grandparents more that way as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us today. It has been fantastic to have you here for the press conference. I know Freya has just got a couple of other questions that she's had put into chat for me. Lauren, you don't live in Australia, do you? But you're a frequent visitor. It's a very specific question about Australia.
No, I don't live here. I used to live here for a year. I actually won an Instagram competition to come out here on a holiday for 2 weeks. That's why I'm here.
Wow,
but I love it.
Enter competitions, guys. You get to win a holiday. So, Lauren, would you want to ask your question? Sorry, Freya, do you want to ask your question? She might.
Yeah. My question is, what's the biggest spider you've seen in Australia?
Absolutely massive. Honestly, it was bigger than my hand. It was huge, a huntsman, and it was like on the wall in the living room, and it was terrifying. And I'm not even normally scared of spiders, but it was huge, and I didn't know. And I turned my head, and it was there, just like the size of my head. I didn't go in the living room again for a long time, and then when I went back in, it was gone.
Oh wow, yeah, that would freak me out more, it not being there or being there. Freya, what are you like with spiders? Would that be okay?
I mean, it's an on and off. I like some, but I can't deal with some.
Okay, because you're okay with bugs, obviously, because you do so much fishing, don't you?
Yeah, but the worst thing is when you have a spider is when you kill it and you can't find the body.
Did you have one more question, Freya?
No, that was my last.
That was it. Thank you so much, Adam and Lauren. It has been amazing to have you here, and so many inspirational words that you've shared with the mini reporters, and so many more who will see it because of the video too. So really, really big thanks from us. And if you know of any other people that you think might want to join us, I don't know whether some of the young people at Hideout, Adam, who have gone on to get jobs and would be great as an inspiration for them too. And Lauren, if there's ever anybody with the projects that you work in with lived experiences, we'd love to be able to interview them too.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send you some ideas over.
Brill, thank you so much. And thank you, Catherine, for sorting it out for us. Really, really appreciate it.
No problem. I've had a great time. I've been lurking here in the background, learning loads of things. Thanks everyone for sharing.
Oh,
Guys, can I just say thank you to you as well for letting me and Lauren come and do this as well, because you're all amazing. I can't believe how confident you are and happy you are doing this. So this, when I said earlier about the best part of my job, when I get to do things like this, I'll go home happy tonight now because I've done this, because you're all amazing. So keep that confidence and keep doing what you're doing, keep doing positive things, and you'll go far, all of you.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Catherine.
Yeah, I completely agree. Sorry.
All right.
I think my internet's a bit slow, but I also wanted to say a massive thank you. And also, this is the best interview I've ever had. The questions were super interesting. And now I'm going to be thinking what suite I would actually be. So I just really loved all the questions. And
Oh, well, feel free to drop us a note if you change your mind as to what that would be.
I'm going to go to the pick and mix tonight and fill it up with peaches.